Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money, and in this episode, this is part two. I do apologize that I am doing this back in my area of South Florida. This is part two of Star Island and Kissimmee, and I was supposed to do this when I was in there, but due to weather conditions, it delayed everything because, as you can see in my previous video, I was at Star Island Resort in Orlando, Florida, and I did an episode there, and I was talking about Star Island and Kissimmee and Orlando and Fun Spot and all of that, and basically it rained majority of the day after I did my recording, and so I had to push my recording back, and I said I'll probably have to do it when I get back home to my land in South Florida. But let's get back into it. When I was there, I talked about Star Island Resort, which is a resort in the Kissimmee area, which is closest to the Disney area. And I also did, and I talked about the amenities that they had. You know, when you seen the majority of the amenities, the boat, the water, the nature trail, and everything. And I did all that. And I was going to go jump in the pool, and I was going to literally do half of the show at Star Island, like part two, and then maybe do something at Fun Spot. But when I got to the pool, and 5 minutes after I got to the pool, it started raining, and then it didn't rain badly, but it rained like enough to say, okay, get your behind out of the pool. Because normally when it rains, people still be in the pool, and they're like, oh, it's just raining, I'm in the pool, blah blah blah. But it rained a little bit harder, and then it slowed down. But then once I got back to my room, it slowed down enough for me to get back to my room. But then when I got back to my room and I wanted to chill or whatever, I was like, oh my God. And then it started raining constantly back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And when, before we left to go to Fun Spot, we walked around the resort. We went by the water. Like, 'cause, my friend didn't go with me before. And we walked to the water and we was going to do the nature trail and stuff like that. We was going to do it, you know, but then it started raining, so we had to run back to the hotel lobby. I mean the resort lobby because it's not a hotel. We had to run back to the resort lobby. Then we had to wait till it slowed down because I was like, okay, we can go to Fun Spot, but we had to wait till it slowed down. So a lot of the people went back to the pool, but then they had to run back out because they was like, oh, it's raining, it's raining. And I'm like, yeah, like the pool time is done because it basically was going to be raining on and off for the majority of the night. And I refused to be jumping in the pool, jumping out of the pool, jumping in the pool, jumping out of the pool for the majority of the night. But we ended up, we ended up going to Fun Spot because that was supposed to be our plans anyway. And I also want to talk, and that's why I want to talk about Fun Spot. Fun Spot, if you ever go to Orlando, that is the best thing to do in Disney World or in Universal. Let me tell you why. Fun Spot, a day pass for Fun Spot will cost you no more than $55 to $60, and that's depending on the package that you get because they have like a $50 to $55 pack, which includes all of the attractions. Then they got a $55 to $60 pack, which includes one sky coaster ride, which is the bungee cord ride. Um, and if you do park to park in the same day, it's only a $10 upgrade. Like if you go to Fun Spot Kissimmee, and then for the first half of the day, then you want to go to Fun Spot Orlando, you're only paying a $10 upgrade. Because they give you a wristband, and all they do is scan the wristband. You pay an additional $10, and you can ride whatever you want to ride. I don't know if you can go back and forth from park to park, like back and forth, because who wants to do that when it's not like Universal Studios where the Fun Spot is in one section and then you got to no. They got Fun Spot Kissimmee, and then it's like a 20 to 30 minute drive, or maybe even more to the Fun Spot Orlando and stuff like that. Where you will have to go to Universal Studios, stand in line for hours to get in the rides and stuff, and then you're paying almost $100 and something to do park to park. And the same thing for Disney, because Disney has like 4 or 5 parks. You got Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, Epcot. You got a lot of these theme parks where it's gonna cost you, you know, a lot to go to each theme park, and you can't do park to park because you could probably do one park a day because Magic Kingdom is gonna take up your whole day, and Animal Kingdom and everything else is gonna take up your whole day. So it's like you can't do park to park. Well, no, with Fun Spot you could because it's more convenient and they're more, and the wait times is less. When I went, cause when I came in on that Friday, we went to Fun Spot Kissimmee in the afternoon. We was delayed because our transportation situation got delayed because of the bad weather. That well, wasn't bad, but we had like weather, and it um delayed our it delayed us going up there, and so um it was a situation, but it was okay, fine. So we got there late, but I mean, we ended up going to Kissimmee Fun Spot a little bit later than usual, but it was fine. But the wait time for Kissimmee was a little bit longer than the wait time in Orlando, and I'm gonna tell you why. Fun Spot Orlando sits off of International Drive, where it's only 5 to 10 minutes, cause all the things like Universal Studios, Fun Spot, Orlando, I mean Icon Park, which hosts Orlando Eye and a lot of other amenities. The Holy Land, a lot of the um Orlando attractions are like no more than 5 to 10 to 15 minutes apart from each other. Fun Spot sits only maybe 10 minutes away from Universal, and probably the same with Icon Park and a lot of the stuff. So the only thing that sits far away is Disney World. SeaWorld is maybe a little bit longer. It may be like 20 minutes or so apart from Universal and all that. But it's the same thing. A lot of these parks are less than 20 to they're about 10 to 15 minutes apart. Some maybe 5 minutes apart. But they're apart. And so with Fun Spot Orlando, when we went on Saturday, a few of the rides did not have a lot of lines. But with Kissimmee, the majority of the rides had lights, and the reason why is because the Fun Spot Kissimmee sits near Old Town, and with Fun Spot Kissimmee, basically there's no other theme park or attractions in the area because we literally stayed driving 5 minutes away from the Fun Spot Kissimmee because where we were staying at the Star Island, we was like 5 minutes away, maybe a little bit over 5 minutes, but and give or take 5 minutes, a 5 minute drive from Kissimmee, from our hotel at Star Island, our resort, and to Kissimmee Fun Spot. And that's why a lot of the lines at the Kissimmee Fun Spot, and they have go karts and stuff like that. So the lines was a little bit longer. We didn't want to get on the go karts at the Fun Spot Kissimmee because the lines was too long. And that's what's like, yeah, my friend was like, oh yeah, the lines are long. I'm not getting in the go karts and stuff because their go karts are real crucial and they're real like extreme. Because with the go karts at Kissimmee, they have levels. You're going up ramps and you're going up ramps and you're going around. And certain cars have ramps where you're going around in circles, like a parking garage where you have to go around in a circle to get to the top. A lot of the and that's what they do. And then you get to the top. One of the go karts that I've experienced, and I experienced it last year. And then you're going down a ramp, and then when you go down the ramp, there's a curve, and the curve at the end of the ramp is like it'll make you feel like you want to crash out because you can't go down when you're going down the ramp. You can't have your foot on the gas. You gotta take your foot off the gas, and then once you get to that curve, it's hard to maneuver, and it feel like you want to crash out. And that's at the Fun Spot Casino. I don't know about the ones in Orlando because we tried to get on the go karts in Orlando, but they had a technical issue with one of the go kart tracks because each Fun Spot has like 3 to 4 go kart tracks, and the go kart track we was waiting in line for, one of the double seat cars, they lost the wheel came off as soon as they left the pit, and they had to push that back into the pit and give the people another car. Then another car lost its wheel up on one of the levels. Then they had to go deal with that, and then majority of the cars, they kept they had to restart the cars up with the gas thing because when a car has an incident, they have a button where they stop all the cars from driving for safety precaution. Then they have to go tend to the car. Then they push the button to start the cars back. And a lot of the cars kept going out, and they had to restart the cars, because with the go karts, they have like how you start up a mower. They have the little string that you pull to start it up. It's the same thing with the go kart, and they had to keep doing that with several cars. And me and my friend was like, oh, we're over it. Like, I was really concerned because now I'm like, I don't want to get a car and my wheel fall off. I don't want to get a car and my car stalls or whatever in the middle, and then everybody's driving, and then now there was like, it was one person running this way, like one attendant running this way, one attendant running that way, one attendant running that way, and it was like, and I kept saying everything, what's going on? Because after the wheel came off, then they had to go with their thing to another car, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, they got too much stuff going on. And my friend, like, I'm over it. I don't want to deal with it. I say, yeah, because it's a safety precaution. Like, that's just like trying to get on a carnival ride or a ride at the carnival or a ride at an amusement park. And then something happened with their ride, and then next thing you know, 5 minutes later, okay, the ride good. No. Because you just had the incident on the ride, but then 5 minutes later, you letting people back on the ride. So we was over that, and stuff like that and stuff. But the Orlando did have a little bit of lines in some spots, like the roller coaster that they had, like one of the main roller coasters. They did have a little line, and they had a line. And the reason why they had a line is because they was only using one car. They have two cars. Like the Kissimmee roller coaster had two cars, and they was using both cars on the roller coaster. But the one in Orlando, they had only one car they were using. It can only fit like what, 10 people at a time or so. So they was only using one car, and it was like you have two cars, but you're only using one car, and that's why the line was a little bit long and stuff like that. So it was something, and I say I like Fun Spot more than Universal and Disney because, like I said, Universal and Disney, you have to wait, and that's not the case now because, as you know, with the Delta variant going up, a lot of there was an article that came out, and I meant to say it in the episode when I was in Kissimmee. There was an article that went up that went out that said now Universal and Disney are seeing less people now because of the Delta variant going up. And I say, yeah, the reason why people are not going to the theme parks now because you got to look at the fact of what's going on. Back then, when the theme parks opened up, there was social distancing. They was wiping down the seats. They was using every other seat on rides. They had required mask mandate and temperature checks and stuff. Nah, you're not doing temperature checks to get inside these theme parks. You're not doing a mask mandate to get inside these theme parks. You're not social distancing in theme parks, and you're not wiping down the rides. So that's why the cases are going up, and a lot of these people are like, I'm not going to use it. And then, even if you did get vaccinated, you can still get the virus, and you can still spread the virus. And and there are people dying still from the virus, and that's why a lot of these people are not going to these theme parks. And I'm like, yeah, but then why would I want to pay $100 or something to go to a theme park and sit in line and wait for 3, 4 hours to get on the ride? There's no social distancing because you're not telling people to stay 6 feet apart. So that's why I say I'd rather to go to Fun Spot or local amusement parks and stuff like that than to go to the big parks. SeaWorld, when I went to SeaWorld last year, it wasn't as crowded as Universal Studios, and like I told you in my previous episode that you've seen, and like it was hectic, at Universal, especially in the Harry Potter land where it was crucial and stuff like that. So I was like, no. And a lot of the theme parks, because like I now Florida has three major tourist cities. The main major tourist city is Orlando. And a lot of y'all may say, no, 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 that's not it, that's not it. No, it's Orlando, then Miami, then Fort Lauderdale. And a lot of y'all may say, no, Miami. I say no because you got to realize what Orlando has. Orlando has majority of the theme parks and attractions in Orlando. You can go to Orlando for a week and you can do Disney World one day, Universal the next day, Fun Spot another day, SeaWorld another day, the Holy Land Experience, Gatorland. You could do a lot of stuff in Orlando. In Miami, you have very little stuff you can do. You have Jungle Island, you have Zoo Miami, and you have Miami Seaquarium, basically. Fort Lauderdale, they don't have a zoo, and they do have a science museum, and they may have local mediocre like fun centers that's not nothing like for local family members, but they don't have like big major theme attractions. Like Jungle Island in Miami is like the major attraction, and Zoo Miami is like the two, and Miami Seaquarium is like the three major attraction places in Miami. And those are not really theme parks that have like rides and thrill rides and stuff. Those are just like water parks and animal parks. Zoo Miami is an animal park where you get to go see the animals and stuff. The only ride they have there is a Lost Man's River ride where you get on a boat and you can go through, but it's not really a ride, and then you can ride the monorail. There is no ride at Miami Sequoia, and there is no ride at Jungle Island, from my understanding, because I have not been to Jungle Island yet. I've been to the old Jungle Island where it used to be Parrot Jungle, but I've never been to the new Jungle Island yet. But that will be another episode in Hotspots in South Florida. But like I said, a lot of the places, Orlando has a lot of attractions, and it's nice. And then one thing I would say, when you go to Orlando, make sure that you do make sure whatever you buy is legit and it works. I mean, I had an incident where I bought something from a retailer there, and a lot of the retailers are using Clover and Square as a form of payments, and those are like payment systems where people use to like for like cash for like their credit card systems or their like formal payment systems, and they use it where you can get your receipt printed. I mean, no, they use it where they can. Most places have print, email, or text, and a lot of places up there was using email or text your receipt. And I got my receipt text, and it was a product me and a friend bought, um, and one of the products didn't work, and I wanted my refund, and it was like, oh, we got to call this and do this and see if we can try to get. And I'm like, it's just a loss of $30. I mean, $30 may seem like nothing, but it's just the principle of the matter. If I buy a product from your store, I should be able to get it should work, and I should be able to have a fast refund. And that's the thing I was thinking of, and I was saying about Orlando. Orlando should have a system where if you buy any product, because you know a lot of stuff in Orlando, basically, a lot of places on Orlando, because you got more souvenir places in Orlando than in any other city in any other state. You know, because a lot of the places, like every other block, you have a gift shop, a souvenir shop, a Disney center, a Disney store, and you know you have places where they sell, like even at the place, even at Star Island Resort where we was, majority of the stuff that was inside the little store that was there, they had Disney T-shirts and Disney towels and stuff, because a lot of places cater to Disney and stuff. Because as you know, Universal, you cannot sell Universal products outside of Universal Studios, but you can sell Disney products outside of Disney World, because of course Disney World has the Disney Store, which is a store that is mainly based in malls and shopping centers and stuff. And a lot of these mom and pop places, you can buy Disney products, but you can't buy nothing from Universal Studios. Like I went to a place when I first went to Universal Studios back in 2018. I went to a place that had a Harry Potter wine, wand, not wine, but wand. And it wasn't really a Harry Potter wand. It was similar to a Harry Potter wand, but it was a wand that lights up, and it was a pen. But it wasn't the actual Harry Potter wand, because you can't, by the point of by Universal orders, Universal does not have that. You cannot sell nothing of Universal outside of Universal Studios. That's why a lot of people that's why when you see a lot of people in your area or streets or whatever, that's why you see a lot of people with Disney products. That's because it's more easier to find Disney products outside of Disney World. You can buy a Mickey Mouse hat. You can buy, the little Mickey Mouse hat with the two ears, or you can buy a regular hat with Mickey Mouse on it. You can buy T-shirts and stuff. You can go to the Disney store and buy that stuff, because there's Disney stores all over the country in major malls and shopping centers. You know, they have a couple of them down here. So it's like you can buy stuff from Disney, but Universal, you can't buy stuff outside the Universal Studios unless you're going online and buying their stuff online. Yes, you know, and that's why I say a lot of the stuff, and that's why I say make sure when you buy stuff that is legit, because I feel there should be a policy for any tourists that come into Orlando. There should be a policy where you can get stuff refunded or exchanged. Because and then the man was like, oh, we got to go through this proper channels and go through this and that. And I'm like, I don't. And I told my friend, I say that man didn't even much call me back, and I'm like, it's just $30 I lost. I said, see if you can try to get the product, because it was a mask that glows up, and it was nice. And I'll say we didn't check to see if it worked before we left. We just ended up buying it, and we charged it up because it's supposed to be charged up, and then it didn't work. And the man was saying, "Oh, you got to do this and do that to make it work and all." And he was giving us so many excuses. So that's why I say make sure wherever you go, regardless. This was in Old Town at Fun Spot Kissimmee in the Old Town area. But make sure that I'm not displaying the name, but just make sure that when you go to these places, make sure that you get, you know what I'm saying, quality stuff and all that, and make sure that it works, because you don't want to leave this, leave without, because the man actually said I could come and exchange it, but by the time they opened up, it will be time for us to go back to where we were, to head back home. So it was like it was a hassle. It was too much going on and stuff like that. So it's like it is what it is. But back to what I was saying about Orlando. Orlando, because of the Delta variant is going up, a lot of these cases, people are starting not to want to go to a lot of the attraction places like Universal or Disney World, because they had it where they say a lot of the wait times was less than 5 minutes, because you have to, on the Universal app, you have to download the Universal app to do whatever you want to do. You can purchase tickets on the Universal app and all of that. And not only that, it tells you the wait time for each ride. And they say the the lowest minutes they can put on the app is 5 minutes. They can't put 1 minute wait, 2 minute wait, 3 minutes. They can only put 5 minute waits. And they say most of the rides, you didn't even have to wait. You can just walk right up and get on the ride. Because a lot of people are not going to these theme parks, and they're not going to the theme parks because of what I said. You lifted restrictions, or you're lifting restrictions on mask mandates. You're not telling everybody to social distance. You're not doing temperature checks anymore at these businesses, and you're not cleaning and wiping down products to the point where, oh yeah, we're wiping down the seats of the rides and stuff. So it's like now the cases are going back up, and you're telling people, oh, the cases are going back up because people haven't getting vaccinated. They're not getting. No, that's just because you got people walking around here. Like when I went to Fun Spot, I had my mask, but I took my mask off when I went on ride, and the reason why is because I don't want to get on the ride and my mask flies off me, even though it's behind my ear. But the intent of the ride, like some of the rides was going upside down, and then you have rides that flip you, and then you have rides that was going too fast where the wind is like in your face. And I've been inside ride share cars where when the driver has the window down and they're driving fast, well, not driving fast, but they're driving, and the wind is blowing. It feels like my mask want to come off, and it's the same thing with the ride. So I would take my mask off or have it down, and I'll put it in my pocket. But when I get off the ride, I put my mask back on, because it was like 80 to 90% of the people who attended these theme parks didn't have on their mask. You had very few people that walked around with their mask on, but it was like majority of people, they didn't wear masks because they're not telling you you have to wear a mask. And even though Fun Spot is an outside um, park, still wear your mask. They wasn't doing temperature checks, and that's why the cases are going up, and that's why a lot of people are scared to go to these parks, because now you're not back to phase one where you're saying, oh, we got a social distance, oh, we got, because you're pushing people to get vaccinated, which I understand, but you're now pushing for, please wear your mask, please social distance, please do this, please do that. You're not saying please wash your hands. You're not saying this. You're just promoting. Now you're just getting people to get vaccinated. Oh, you get vaccinated, you're going to be good. No, because we're still living in a population, and you got to realize there are people out there that are getting vaccinated and still catching COVID. And now you're telling people to get a booster shot after you get vaccinated. How many times we got to get a shot until we can fight the damn virus? And excuse my language, but you're telling us to fight the virus by doing it. And that's why, a lot of these places and a lot of these cases are going up, and that's why a lot of these people don't want to go to the theme parks and stuff like that. We're going to get back to the point where there's going to be another shutdown, and Universal and Disney World, I like them, but I would not go to them theme parks for the fact that regardless if the lines are shorter, you're still going to have a whole bunch of people that's out there. Because like Fun Spot had lines, and they was in the lines, nobody was social distancing. People was like only 2-3 feet apart from each other. They wasn't 6 inches apart or 6 feet. I mean, they wasn't 6 feet apart. They was only 2-3 feet apart. And I'm like, yeah, because y'all not social distancing. And then you're not wiping down the rides as people get on and off. And then when I first went to Fun Spot last year, they was doing every other seat. They was doing wiping down each seat. They'll spray down the front seat, and then they'll say, oh, you can't sit in the front seat. You got to sit in the seats behind the front. Then when the ride over, they'll spray down the seat that was behind the front seat. Then they'll let the next crew use to get on the front. And they was doing that, but now they're not doing that no more. They're just saying, okay, get on, get off, okay, get on, get off, okay, get on, get off. So now it's like, um, it's no social distancing, and it's no safe protocol. So that's why a lot of people are not going to these parks or whatever. And my trip was already planned before all of this went down with the Delta variant and all that. So I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. And I chose Fun Spot for like 3 to 4 main reasons. I chose Fun Spot because it's cheaper than the major theme parks in Orlando. There's less wait times on the rides and attractions at these parks, and I can enjoy myself at these parks without not having to worry about spending a lot of money, waiting on lines, and there's a lot more things I can do. Like Fun Spot Kissimmee, like Fun Spot Orlando, they have a gator spot, which is in in association with Gatorland, where you could feed the gators and stuff like that, whatever, and and they have a certain other amenity. And Fun Spot Kissimmee has Old Town, where the family can go shop and eat at Old Town and go to a bar and have a drink or whatever while the kids go ride at Fun Spot. It's decent, and that's why I look at it. So yeah, it's a lot of amenities, it's a lot of things, it's a lot of stuff. And all I say is, when you go to Orlando, make sure you plan good and plan ahead, because there are a lot of things in Orlando. Like even like now, still with Universal, a lot of the attractions are closed. I haven't heard them opening back up the Fast and Furious ride, and a lot of stuff. And then now a lot of people are gonna get laid off and stuff. So I look at it as if now, you know, it was fun. Orlando was fun. Orlando was good. Orlando was cool. I took Megabus up there, and that's another situation and another topic I'm gonna be talking about in the future. But I would like to say, it was great. It was fun. I enjoyed myself. Whatever. The weather did kind of, excuse me. I'm sorry. The weather did kind of delay us in the situation, but it was fine. It was. I was enjoying it, and that was everything. But this episode was supposed to be part two, and this was supposed to be in Orlando. But due to the rain and the weather situation and everything that went down, I had to do it. I came back to do it in my hometown of South Florida, and I do. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page. Also, you can also check out my previous episode, which this talks about. I was at Star Island Kissimmee in Kissimmee, Florida, Star Island Resort and Country Club, which is in Kissimmee, Florida. Check out Fun Spot Kissimmee, and check out Fun Spot Orlando, and check out some of the other hot spots in Orlando as well. Please stay safe. Please stay safe. Wash your hands, social distancing. Please wear your mask. Please do everything to protect yourself, because the Delta variant is here and things are going up. And I'm going to be doing another episode soon. I'm going to be talking about um, transportation and projects that have been halted by the coronavirus as well. That's going to be my next project. This is the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money. I thank you for watching. If you watched this video and you have not watched the previous video, to get the deal of this video, you will have to watch my previous video where I was at Star Island Resort in Orlando. So you'll have to get a bit of this is part two. But this is the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money. I thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.